All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is right around 5 p.m. West Coast time, and I am trying to fix some things. There we go. All right, then. Let's just try this one more time, shall we? Hey, it's 5 p.m. West Coast time. I'm going to call it 2 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on that there East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I am Med Statter. This is Chatter with Statter. And as you can see, we're off to, start. Hello. All right. So, Cora the Capricorn. Hello, people. I've not been on here since I moved house and life things happening. I'm currently a little bit tipsy. Life is good. So good to see you, Cora. And it looks like we've got Rick in the house. We've got Terry in Scotland in the house. We've got E-Music in the house. And we've got a whole bunch of people in the house that I don't know. Shock, it looks like, also in the house. Because I have somehow managed to get rid of my Twitch. There we go. I somehow managed to get rid of my Twitch chat, but now I have it. So it looks like now I have record of what's been going on since we've been waiting for the show to start, because I was doing things and stuff for the show, and then suddenly it was like 2 minutes after the show should have started, and I still hadn't brushed my teethuses. I didn't have the background set up. Anyway, we're late. We're all sorts of late. And let's see here. It looks like Terry raided. Thank you, Terry, for that raid. Welcome in to the stream, Gina K. I'm a Gina K. No, aloha, she says, and K. I'm guessing Gina will be part of the K crew today. But I'm also guessing that Gina came in with the raid from Terry in Scotland. So we've got Terry in Scotland, E-Music, Rick, Terry in Scotland, Kenny from the Cove, Donde esta Statter? I don't know what that means, but I think it means where is Statter? And Statter most likely was in the bathroom brushing her teeth when you asked that. And let's see here. It looks like Rick bragging about some cabin time today because he was closing it up for the winter. And let's see here. Trail Dust, did you get here in time for a Lono break? You got here early, sweetie pants. So we've got a little bit till our Lono break, but we do have a Lono listening break that we have never had here before on the channel. I just downloaded it today. However, it is a Lono song from way back when, and if you are familiar with his page, you might have heard of it. Also, we've got, let's see here, Picola T coming in saying aloha. And let's see here, Cora, I moved house in like July. That's crazy. I feel like I've just got in your home. That's not at all crazy, Cora. Like, I've lived in my house for 20 years, and there's still something in that corner of my house that has never been dealt with since I moved in 20 years ago. At this corner in my house is basically a permanent pile of, oh, we'll see what we're going to do with that. So I understand why you just feel like you got settled in. I still 20 years later am not fully settled. So I think you're way ahead of my schedule. And we've got Andre here saying aloha. And let's see here. Who else we got? Mama Sean saying aloha. And I have to work in 6 hours, but I'm British, so I'll survive. I love you, Cora. We're just gonna... I'm drunk, and I gotta go to work in 6 hours. I'll survive. I love you so much. And let's see here. Terry saying meow to Ashes, Dusty, and Leo. And Ashes is right here, but I'm not going to disturb her. And yes, thank you so much, Andre, for gifting a sub to Mr. Charlie C, who for 1 second I thought said Mr. Garlic, and I was like, nice, but it's not garlic, it's Charlie C, which is also nice, just not as good as garlic, not as tasty as garlic. And Terry, thank you so much for those biddies. And let's see here, I think I may have said hello to everybody who might be here today. Andre, thank you again for for another gift sub. And I'm full of too much energy, but I'll try not to talk too much and be a pain. Well, actually, Cora, the whole point of this show is to chitter chatter. Let's get at her. So if you've got something to say, my friend, throw it out. We'll see if we can catch the wave on that particular chat. Maybe see if it can scatter. And so it's all good in the hood. But now that we're here, now that we're running late, now that we're doing things and stuff, Why don't we just get the party started, shall we? All right, I think we should. Let's do it. Paying no attention to the cat on the screen. I was busy reading all of the comments, and looks like DJ Smook is in the house. Welcome in, DJ Smook. Hey, you know what, Cora? We've actually talked vaguely about this already, but let's talk about it again. So, Cora, I have something to say. What's up with black currants being illegal in America? We doing black currant juice every day in the UK. Word up, yo. Serious as a heart attack, my friend. Currants are an unknown treasure in the United States because you are right. They are illegal to commercially harvest. You can obviously have a currant bush in your backyard if you wish, red currant or black currant. But back in the early days, it was deemed illegal to grow them commercially because there's some sort of, I can't remember exactly, but it's some sort of fungus that the blackcurrant plants have that transfers over to, I want to say, like the white pines or something like that. Although it better not be the white pines, the blackcurrants, the white pines. That's a bad thing. But it's some sort of, it affects, what I can say is it affects some sort of, it affected some sort of tree that they were harvesting. And so the commercial production of the pine tree, whatever type it is, I want to say it was white pine, but I also recognize that might not be the case. My bad there. Anyway, yes, exactly. Terry and Scotland, blackcurrants were considered a threat to the American timber industry because they harbored some sort of disease. I want to say it was a fungus, but I could be wrong there, that affected a main tree that they were using in the timber industry. I believe it was some kind of pine tree. And so, yeah, people in the United States do not, the United States don't know anything about blackcurrants. Now, you go right up north to Canada, and blackcurrant jam, red currant jam is in every household cupboard. I mean, blackcurrant jam is more common than strawberry jam in Canada. And so because my mom was Canadian, I was fortunate enough to grow up with the beauty of blackcurrants. But yes, indeedly do, we do not have it here. And I have to say, Cora, I am a little bit jealous because I've never had blackcurrant juice. I've only had it in like jams or like pastries and things like that. But blackcurrant juice sounds like, it sounds delicious. And so, Rick, Google says blackcurrants is an alternate host for a fungal pathogen which causes white pine blister rust. Oh my gosh, I was actually right. Blackcurrants are against the white pines. White pines and blackcurrants don't get along, y'all. It's, oh my god, it's just awful. No, but apparently that's what it is. And what does it taste like? It's, I guess, I'm gonna say blackberry. A cross between blackberry and grape, but more to the blackberry side because I don't really like grape. But I would say blackberries is as close as I mean, it's not as tangy as a raspberry. Well, the blackcurrants aren't. The reds are a little bit. But I would say a blackberry. I guess. I mean, honestly, Cora, you're in a way better position to explain what it tastes like because I haven't had them in a while. And Pacola T, are you in my neck of the woods? You're in San Juan Islands, Washington for a girls' reunion. Oh, wow. It's sweet, not as sour as blackberry. Right, it is very sweet. It's just a dull, yummy flavor. Right, that's kind of what it tastes like. And you guys, by the way, holy flirking snit. Andre, thank you for the gift subs and the biddies. Terry, thank you for the biddies. Everybody, thank you for the biddies and the gift subs and the resubs, etc. Because we are on level 3 hype train. Holy forking snit. And let's see here. So, Terry in Scotland. Black currants are particularly rich in vitamin C and polyphenols. Black currants can be eaten raw, but are usually cooked in sweet or savory dishes. They're used to make jams, preserves, and syrups, and are grown commercially for the juice market. The fruit is also used to make alcoholic beverages and dyes. Well, what do you know? What do you know? And Cora, I'm too drunk to describe a blackberry. That's valid. That's valid. I am totally jealous of you. But I have to ask, what do you have mixed in with your blackcurrant juice? Because I'm guessing it's not the blackcurrant juice that's made you so tipsy. I'm guessing it's maybe some rum, maybe some vodka, maybe some gin. I'm not quite sure. Personally, I would probably pair a vodka with the blackcurrant. But then again, I would pair a vodka with pretty much anything. So even if it's just ice. Yeah, okay. Holy crumb, Rick. That's type the temperature swing. Rick, up north at the cabin, getting his cabin all locked up for the winter, had lows of 22 and highs of 81. Wow. 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 Yeah, no, I know, Gina, I was being silly. It's the fungus, not the plant or the color. It's nature. It's a nature thing, not malice. Yeah, I know. I was just being facetious. With the whole black and white thing, that's all. And you can buy blackcurrant drinks from Amazon. Interesting. And Picola Tea, you are not here yet in the San Juan Islands. You will be soon. Well, I don't know if I've got them. Well, actually, I do. We will be talking a little bit about the San Juan Islands today. Not too much, but we will be talking about the Puget Sound and the islands in it. And the San Juans are part of those. So we will actually be, spoiler alert, looking at a map or two, maybe three today. And let's see here. Let's see here. I think we have blackcurrant syrup, but sugar, so not me. Right, exactly. No doubt, Terry, or not Terry, Rick, you like the 81 way better. Let's see here. And so Terry explaining, and I'm assuming that Cora will agree or disagree, Ribena, I don't know how to say this, is the main blackcurrant drink here in the UK. It comes concentrated, regular, ready for dilution. Wow. All right, let's... I do know how to read, y'all. I do. Ribena is the main blackcurrant drink here in the UK. It comes concentrated, ready for dilution. Anyway, all right. Describe a blackberry. Right. It's black. It's a berry. What more is there to know? I know, right? Exactly. And it's 76 here today, says Gina, and then 40s tonight. Yep, 'tis the season for that type of swinging. And yeah, I was thinking, Darlene, 81 was kind of unusual for this time of year up that far north. But glad that you got it. And here we go, Mama Sean. Flavor is close to choke cherry and huckleberry. That's actually a good one. That actually, Ribena. Yeah, I still don't know how to pronounce that. But Andre, thank you for that gift sub and the extra biddies. And M words being jarred tonight. Oh, very much. It's like Ribena. Oh, Ribena. Okay, Ribena. I can say that now, I think. We'll see. I don't know. But alas, that is why we do not have blackcurrants here in the United States. They cause a fungal infection that messed with the trees. Now, personally, I think that the lumber industry can probably withstand the introduction of the blackcurrants because the lumber industry is not limited to the areas that the blackcurrants grow in, but I don't know. I guess we're just gonna have to, I don't know what we did here, but I just shared a emote chest. And let's see here. There are variations, Kenny from the Cove, of blackberry. We have some thorny ones we planted on the back fence. Those I like, easier picking by far. over the wild and thorny ones. I think she meant to say thornless ones. Yes, indeed. And let's see here. Terry in Scotland. See, black currants are particularly good in Cadbury's fruit and nut bars. They have hazelnuts too. Terry. I have a sad now. You mean to tell me that the fruit and nut bars in England don't have raisins in them? They have black currants instead? Because in the United States, it's black currants and almonds in the Cadbury's fruit and nut bars. Are you suggesting that in England or in the UK, it's black currants and hazelnuts? Because that's a completely different animal. And I would like to have that as an option down here. And so that makes me sad. And Cora, I drink, I think, a half a bottle of Bailey's and 5 shots of Malibu because I'm wild. I've never tried Bailey's with Malibu, but that actually sounds like it might be good. Now, I'm not suggesting or saying that you actually drink them together, although you might have. But I would like to try to drink those together. I think that actually might be a really good drink. And Terry, that is what you're saying. In the UK, it's black currants and hazelnuts. Wow. Wow. Let's see here. Oops, just got here and was dropped at Twitch. Oh no! That sucks, but I'm glad you got here, finally, C Honda. And wow, there you go. Mystery chocolate box product, dark chocolate with hazelnuts and currants by Green Blacks. All right. And yes, Andre, I will admit that is true. Bailey's in Malibu sounds like a hard hangover. That is true, but it also sounds like a deliciously fun hangover to get. And Malibu and milk is the ultimate drink. It won't curdle, don't worry. Okay, I've never thought about that, but I don't normally like milk drinks when I drink drinks, but I could see myself doing a Malibu and milk. And let's see here. Kenny from the Cove arguing that the wild blackberries are the best because they're easier. You find them, you pick them, you ignore the pricklies, and then you eat them. And that is it. That is exactly it. Okay, so let's see here. Speaking of, I guess, Amazon, y'all. And really, Malibu is big in Europe. I had no idea. Malibu has been a staple. I don't have it in my liquor cab. Actually, I don't really have a liquor cabinet, so I definitely don't have it in that. I don't have any Malibu at my house, but I have to say Malibu is one of the only alcoholic drinks that one of my friends will drink. He really doesn't like the flavor of alcohol at all. Malibu manages to cover it up enough that he can, if you put Malibu in it, he can generally deal with it. But I didn't realize that the coconut flavor was so popular in Europe. And, let's see here. Malibu is the alternate rum in your Irish pirate mixed drink. Bacardi 101 is the first choice. And Cora, you're too young to get hungover yet. That is so funny you should say that because I'm just the opposite. I grew out of my hangovers. When I was young, I used to get hungover, and now I do not, and it's a beautiful thing. I mean, I don't know if it's something I should brag about, actually. I'm not gonna lie. But, and let's see here. Shock, I bought some spendy hazelnut spread in Richmond the other week, and Mr. Me put it in the ice cream. Oh my god. Yes. And oh no, see Honda, down there you are afraid of the wild berries, but that's because you're naive of them and you don't know which ones are which. Okay, I don't know what just happened, but apparently I have this now, a choo-choo. I don't know. I don't know where that came from. But here's a little kitty getting a collar put on it. I don't know where that came from. You're so funny, Cora. I rarely drink, to be fair. Maybe 4 times a year. And tonight seemed like a good night. Okay, I'm gonna have to question you on this, Cora, because didn't you just say you have to go to work in 6 hours? What made tonight seem like a really good night? No big deal, you're just a pilot, right? You're just a pilot. And shock, if I ever get back to Germany, or maybe Chechnya, I might have another beer. Well, I might have another beer too, but it'll definitely be before I get back to Germany. Of course, I've never been to Germany, so there is that. Okay, so Andre, you got the little kitty cat collar too. I don't know where it came from. I'm assuming the hype train? I have no idea. I have no clue. I have no idea. All right. Oh, and by the way, you guys, this shirt, that's Lily Okalani and Onipa'a. This shirt was gifted to me by Andre, and I have to say it's one of my favorite shirts because it's very, very comfy. And yeah, there you go. Exactly, Piccola T. I might have another beer tonight. And yeah, Andre, it's a new emote. I found it in the hype train. Yeah, I thought it came from the hype train too. So y'all who were involved in the hype train, or maybe everybody here, you might have an emote of a new emote of a kitty with the little collar. And Terry in Scotland, you got 4 bottles of Leffe Blonde beer with your last grocery order, and you will probably do so again with your next. So perfect. And let's see here, Cora, because I charged my headphones for once, I could blast Rammstein without annoying the neighbors, which made you want to drink. That's not exactly a bad plan. And did I get a new shipment from Hey? No, but I haven't actually been to my PO box in, I think, since Monday. But it sounds like there might be another shirt or something in the mail for me from HAE, and I can't remember what HAE stands for, but I'm going to say it's Hawaiian Artists Enterprises. It's probably not that. But HAE, oh, this is an HAE shirt, actually. Yeah, they've got good quality stuff. And I believe, if I remember correctly, and Andre would know the best because he's the one who orders these things. HAE is a Hawaii-owned, operated, and created product, i.e. they manufacture it on the island. I don't know if they manufacture the shirts or whatever, but, you know, they print them up or whatever. So, the HAE is the Hawaiian name for flag. Oh, the hey, is it hey? Oh. So, hi. Okay. Oops. All right. There you go. And so, so let's see here. Okay, Cora, you have to be involved in the train to get the emote. So if you spent bits during the train, you get an emote. Okay, good to know. Okay, well, everybody who spent biddies, you got a new emote. And it is a local business, Andre confirmed. So if you want to support local Hawaii businesses, pronounce hi. Yeah, now that I know that it's actually a word and it's not an acronym, I get it now. It's pronounced hi, as Gina says. That is correct. And I vaguely surmised that, but I questioned it. Yeah, and so it's a great little company. I have at least 3 shirts by them, and I wear them all very regularly. The long sleeve ones they've got a set of long sleeve shirts that are also sunscreen, like they're UVA material, and they're, even though they're long sleeved, they breathe really well. So you can wear them kind of out in the hot and you're not going to die. So yeah, it's a really good quality product. I really enjoy wearing my HAE, my HAE shirts, my high shirts. And, let's see here. Kenny, or Terry was saying he may have to invest in a bottle of Bullet Frontier for the holidays. I dare say that's maybe a good idea. It is the holidays after all. Yes, it is. But let's see here. Speaking of shopping and things like that, this is actually what caused me to be so very late to the stream today, and I do apologize for that, but it was kind of for a greater good. I'm sure that many of you have heard of the, even I, who doesn't pay too much attention to this, It's crossed my feed. There is a huge chicken recall that's going on right now. Yeah, that's right. We're talking about food. It's a huge chicken recall, and it's processed chicken, and it's chicken that comes in many forms. There is a company called Bruce Pack that has had to recall, like, I don't even know how many hundreds of thousands of pounds of chicken. And thank you so much, Shock. Yeah, my hair is just all curly today. Yes, it's good hair day. Thank you so much. But you want chicken? Yeah, I actually, oddly enough, after I read this article, I was like, oh, now I want some chicken burritos, which shouldn't be which really shouldn't be the result of reading the article. But basically, this Bruce Pack chicken recall affects so many things. And if you're like, it doesn't affect me, I ain't got no Bruce Pack in my freezer. I don't even know what Bruce Pack is. That's right, you don't. Because we don't buy from Bruce Pack. But everything we might buy gets their stuff from Bruce Pack. And so, unfortunately, and that's what Andre just said, yep, I do love the Trader Joe's curry chicken salad, but I have not shopped in the real world, so I am safe from that. Yes, and so, so basically, let me just tell y'all, Bruce Pack is not the label you need to look for. Boom. Products from the 7-Eleven brand that contain chicken might be affected. Amazon Fresh chickens might be affected. Amazon Kitchen chickens might be offended. Chicken meals from Atkins might be offended. Bell & Evans, Boston Market, Central Eats, Dole. Dole sells something with chickens? Apparently Dole does. Eat. El Monterey, their chicken and green chili and chicken frozen burritos, ready to eat. They are affected. Fresh Express, Fuchsia, Giant Eagle, Jenny Craig, Kroger Gordon Choice, Good and Gather, Great Value, H-E-B, their chickens and pre-made chickens, HMS, Home Chef, Meijer, Save Mart, Signature Select. I believe Signature Select is the Safeway brand generic, so any generic Safeway chicken product you might have gotten is an issue. Taylor Farms, Trader Joe's, Udi's, Wegmans, and Whitson's. Dude, this chicken can be anywhere. Now, it's, as Andre points out, it's mostly processed food products. And so the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because the headlines keep talking about Bruce Pack, and chances are you're like, I have absolutely no worries. Bruce Pack is not in my fridge. Well, it might be. And when I read all of the things that it is in, it's basically in everything. And these are things that are sold at Costco. These are things that are sold at Trader Joe's. These are things that are sold at Target. And Cora, what's in the chicken? It's a potential listeria contamination. Normally, I don't really talk about food recalls because a lot of food recalls are for things like allergies. Occasionally, though, I do bring things up when there's like lead in your spices, when there's like lead in children's products, in children's food products. And I'm bringing it up this time because listeria is absolutely a deadly disease, one of the more deadly food poisoning diseases that happens within food manufacturing, you know, the modern world, as it were. And so anyone can fall susceptible to listeria poisoning. Children, elderly, and the immunocompromised obviously are the biggest risk factors. And basically, when I listed all these things, you have to understand it's not that every piece of chicken from Aldi's or Trader Joe's or whatever, or H-E-B, is, you know, affected. But what it is you want to at least further look into the recall and the product, look for the product codes for that specific product from the specific store, so you can find out whether or not it's actually something you need to be aware of. Because as Rick points out, that food packaging never states the source producer. Mostly they just say distributed by, which means nothing. Absolutely. And so So you're never gonna, so you aren't gonna know whether or not, because the fact of the matter is, Trader Joe's, let's just say, I don't know if Trader Joe's chicken curry is on the list, but Andre mentioned it, so let's just say it. Trader Joe's chicken curry might not always get their chicken from Bruce Pack. They might get it from they might get it from Tyson's at some point. They might get it at Bruce Pack from another point. So their labeling it doesn't really matter. What matters is the processing code, the date, the manufacturing code of the day and the location, etc., etc. And so some of the chicken curries that have the certain codes on it are going to be fine. But the ones that have a different code on it are not going to be fine. And so you'll need to, if any of those things are potentially an issue, and like someone mentioned, it's the processed chicken food. It's the pre-made chicken. It's like the canned chicken. It's the chicken in your chicken burritos. It's not, if you bought a whole chicken from HEB, that's not an issue. If you bought a whole raw chicken from Kroger, that's not an issue. Oh, and by the way, oh shoot, my list is messed up. It's on the list says Kroger, and then our list on the screen says Jenny Craig, Kroger Gordon Choice. It's actually Kroger. Next line it should be Gordon Choice. So Kroger, that's Kroger owns QFC, owns Fred Meyer, owns a ton of different other stores. Signature Select, that's Safeway and Albertsons right there. Wegmans I know is a huge store. And then El Monterey, Dole, huge brands. So Meyer, huge chain store as well. And then Andre also says it's turkey too. Wow, I didn't know about that. So definitely any kind of processed poultry, I guess, that you might have somewhere in your fridge or freezer. And you maybe, it's of the brand of Eat, or it's of the El Monterey brand, or whatever. Take a look at the product code, the manufacturing, thing or whatever, and just double check the safety of your food. Because you're right. First off, eMusic, I'm so jealous. You have your flippin' Amish chickens. That just makes me a lot bit jealous. But yes, and that's why I don't buy processed meals. Made a great sausage and cauliflower soup for dinner. So easy. Yeah, for the most part, I don't make a lot of processed food either. On the other hand, making stuff from scratch, as nutritious and economical and safe as it is, it's also a privilege. Not everybody has the opportunity, this time, the energy to cook for themselves. And so I recognize that, not eating processed food is an element of privilege that I am so fortunate to be able to give myself. But occasionally, processed food does make it into my freezer. I've got a bag of tater tots after all. Because tater tots, I don't know how to make tater tots at home, right? Let's see here. And Darlene, there are a lot of Amish by us up north. We get eggs and produce from them. Delicious eggs, too. Yes, exactly. Luckily, and apparently eggs are another whole thing that people are saying, or that the FDA is suggesting people might want to hold off on for a while. Because I guess the bird flu epidemic is, I didn't really look into that, but I was very, very confused about how eggs and the bird flu epidemic are, like, can we get the bird flu from eating eggs? Or, I'm not really sure, but I do know that they're saying egg production is being affected and that maybe people shouldn't be buying as many eggs. I'm thinking maybe it's because, I don't know what the logic is. All I do know is my eggs are locally sourced, and so I can still eat eggs, because my eggs are from the farm down the street, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And Andre, can tater tots be made at home? yes, technically, I have had there was a burger joint in Berkeley, actually. I went there in 2012 during a roller derby tournament, and they home make their tater tots. And I have to say, dude, manufactured tater tots are way better. I mean, you can, but they're not as good, and they're a pain in the arse. And they aren't as good. They're not as good as the you know, the bagged ones. They're just not as good. They're just not. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're a potato. They're fried. Of course they're delicious. They're just not as delicious. And let's see here. I would love to eat at those Amish buffets. Yeah, me too, C Honda. You know, I gotta say, I know that this is odd, but despite the fact that Pennsylvania has a fork ton of American history to be seen and experienced in that state, I have no desire to go to Pennsylvania to do any of that stuff. What I do have a desire to do in Pennsylvania, the only reason why I would want to go to Pennsylvania is to go visit the Amish country and eat all that Amish food. I don't care that I don't eat gluten or sugar. When I'm going to Amish country, I'm eating gluten and I'm eating sugar. I'm eating shoe fly pie. I'm eating homemade butter logs. I'm eating biscuits and gravy. I'm eating whatever it is they want to feed me. I'm eating it because I know it's going to be good. And yeah, Picola tea, not even a visit. Oh, well, now Hershey. Now that's now Hershey. Yeah, I'd go to Hershey. But like Philadelphia, I really don't care. The Liberty Bell couldn't give a flying fork. It exists. It has a crack in it. I know it. That's all I care. I don't need to see it. I don't need to touch it. I don't need to do nothing to it. But Hershey, Pennsylvania, yeah. And then, you know, the Amish country. Now, I will say, actually, okay, now I will give you this. And of course, fat girl talking. I would like to go to Philadelphia to try a Pat's cheesesteak and a Geno's cheesesteak and see which one I like best. And then I also, Kenny from the Cove, I want to go to Pittsburgh and get food drunk on Primanti sandwiches. That actually sounds okay as well. And yes, Picola tea, that's what I've heard. Hershey even smells like chocolate when the wind is blowing right. And so I definitely think that I wouldn't mind Hershey. And let's see here, hold on. So, Amish homegrown weed is the bomb. Well, you know, you can get good homegrown weed anywhere as long as they know how to do that. And so, let's see here. DJ Smook, Tony Luke's cheesesteaks are awesome as well. I know nothing of Tony Luke's, but DJ Smook, now I have to put them on my list. Because cheesesteaks, for the most part, I'm sure I'm wrong here, but my best guess is there's no such thing as a bad cheesesteak. Only a better cheesesteak. Because really, how could a cheesesteak be bad? And let's see here. Yeah, there we go. Mama Sean says Dr. Steve was training Boeing people in Philadelphia and had Easter dinner with the Amish. Oh my God, they fed him family style, huge amounts. That sounds delicious. And oh no, shock. Your grandma lived near the Seas factory, and let's just say there can be too much of a good thing in the air. Oh, for sure. For sure. Back in the day when my boss and I used to make like 200, 300 pounds of chocolate-covered almond toffee for Christmas to give out, after like 3 days of stirring hot butter and sugar melted together, you can kind of get tired of the smell of sugar in the air. And I actually, being the one, I was the chocolater, the chocolate coverer of the chocolate or the candy. I never thought it was possible, but I actually got tired of chocolate. I actually, like, there does come a point where too much is too much, and I actually did get tired of chocolate. So yeah, I can see how there is too much to a good thing. There is such thing as too much of a good thing. And you've used chocolate extract in your hair conditioner. You love chocolate. Yum. I would like it if my hair smelled like chocolate. And let's see here. Amish make great food, says Darlene. Mennonite also makes delicious foods. We have a Mennonite store, a bulk store, where you can go shopping some really good food. Rick also likes their cheese curds. There you go. And some mornings your dad would drive by the Wholesome Bakery en route to school. That aroma of bread baking was heavenly. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and say that sometimes there is too much of a good thing, but I don't think you could ever get too much baking bread smell. Like, I don't think that anybody could ever get tired of the smell of baking bread. That is just an aroma that is amazing. And lighting is being adjusted by Ashes, in case anyone's wondering. And right, exactly, Andre. All your friends that worked in ice cream shops got tired of it really quickly. Yeah, and I've been told that people who work at candy shops or candy manufacturing plants, the attitude is when they get hired, just let them eat all they want. In about 5 days, they'll just be like, yep, nope, I don't want nothing else anymore. I am candied out. It is true. Overexposure, for sure. All right, so, you guys, talking about all the foods and stuff, fancy that, we got sidetracked, and we are now 6 minutes late for our Lono listening break. And so, we are now going to take a little Lono listening break, a song about a girlfriend that he had who did not like roses at all. And so apparently one day, a lady named Rose was having a birthday at a club that Lono was playing at. And in her birthday celebration, tons of people were giving her flowers. Her name is Rose. She got a lot of roses. And so, Rose offered Lono a thing of roses to take home to his girlfriend. And Lono said, no, she doesn't like roses. She likes gardenias. The lady got a little bit habut, and he had to make it up to her by giving her a surfing lesson. She was really offended that he wouldn't take her flowers. But a song got written out of it. And if you want to read the full story, just go to Lono's Kaupe'epe'e page on YouTube, and you can see the entire story that he wrote about this song. In the meantime, we're just going to listen to the song. All right, there we go.
Gardenia. Let's go. I don't wanna live with her right now. Maybe a change will do me good, 'cause the day is just beginning and I feel so lost without her. Instantly I'm looking at the other girls, spinning my emotions around the world, and that same old feeling that I get inside without her. I be smiling when my day is done without her? Oh, give me something filled with love, this gardenia from above. Roses may not be for me in this garden that I see. Give me something filled with love, this gardenia from above. Roses may not be for me in this garden that I see. Gardenia.
All right, there you have it. So, by the way, Thomas the Turtle, good to see you. I don't know if I said hello when you came in. And you know what, Verity? Hon, I don't know if I said hello when you came in either. So, hello, good to see you. Glad you're here. And so Picola T asks, gardenias, yay or nay? Honestly, I don't even know if I know what a gardenia is. I cannot picture one in my head. I don't know what one smells like. I do know, though, that from what it sounds like, it's a very strong smelling flower. So my best guess is I probably don't like it. I don't like lilies for that reason either. Lilies, anytime a lily is in a flower bouquet, I have to remove them, because otherwise the house smells like lilies and I cannot stand that overwhelming floral smell. So if gardenias are super intense aroma, I might not like them. I don't like the smell of jasmine for that reason. Whereas I do really enjoy the smell of roses, but mostly because you have to get up close to a rose to smell it, and I do enjoy that. And so Gina is saying gardenia is a genus of flowering plants in the coffee family, native to tropical and subtropical regions of Africa and Asia and Madagascar, Pacific Islands, and Australia. The genus was named by Carl something and John Ellis after Alexander Garden, a Scottish naturalist. The type of species is Gardenia jasminio. Oh, so wait, is jasmine a gardenia? Oh, I don't like, if gardenia and no, I don't like that at all. I don't, Mama Sean, it sounds awful to me. I have double gardenias, very fragrant, better than lilies. Yeah, if they're anything like lilies, I don't like them at all. Nope. And violets, you're all up in bloom again, sister. I like violets. Violets don't really have a smell. I like violets. And ooh, your neighbor up north is starting an unusual white violet for you. Can't wait for that one. Nice. And then C. Honda gardenia was your mom's favorite. Guess what we have by the kitchen window? And they're not as strong smelling as jasmine. Okay, well that's good, because jasmine is like way too much, man. And Mama Sean, I like jasmine and gardenia in the yard, not in the house. Got it. Yeah, that's fair enough. So let's see here. I saw, all right, Terry in Scotland, the whoopie pie. I don't know why he's talking about whoopie pies, but y'all, we're going to talk about whoopie pies because whoopie pies are awesome. Whoopie pies, in case you don't know, are sort of like Hostess's Suzy Q's, only they're round. And they are, from what I understand, they started in Amish country. And sometimes they're called Black Moon, a gob, a black and white, a bob, or a BFO, a big fat Oreo. It's an American baked confection that may be considered a cookie, pie, sandwich, or cake. It's made of two round mound-shaped pieces of cake, usually chocolate, but sometimes pumpkin, gingerbread, or other flavored, with a sweet, creamy filling or frosting sandwich between them. Yes, and they are flippin' delicious. And I just don't know why he was talking about them, but I love them, and indeedly do. And let's see here. Terry going in with gardenias are hermaphrodites or bisexual, with each flower having both a male and female structures, that is, having both stamens and carpels within the flower. And let's see here. Andre bragging, my house fence is covered in 2 kinds of jasmine. Oh, neat. Well, then I won't be going and visiting during the flowering season. But DJ Smook says, yes, indeedy, they do have, gardenias do have a strong scent. And let's see here. Oh no, right. Cannot visit. Pocolati, Statter cannot visit me. Gardenias on one side of the house, Bukake on the other side of the house. She'd be surrounded by sneezy smells. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And let's see here. Kenny from the Cove, whoopie pies were a major player in your childhood diet. I'd never heard of whoopie pies until I was probably in my 30s and maybe my 40s actually. But once I tried one, I was like, oh. Yeah, and chocolate and pumpkin seem to be the 2 common ones that I see in the stores around here, the fancy bakeries around here as well, because you got to go to the fancy bakery to get the whoopie pie, the fancy ones. And let's see here. Who remembers Ylang Ylang hair pomade? I remember that name, but I didn't know that it was. I don't remember pomade. Does it smell like Ylang Ylang? I don't know how to say that word. Does it smell like flowers, Thomas the Turtle? And by the way, Thomas the Turtle, the black cat is out of arm's reach, so I can't grab her or him. Yeah, okay, yeah, it smells floral. That's what I thought. Kenny from the Cove. At this point, I barely remember hair. Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. All right, well, let's see here. All right. What should we talk about? Well, all right, here we go. We're right, no can with the sugar, but craving chocolate right now. Yeah, I know. It really, yeah. The other day, I gave in to my craving, and I actually ate 2 chocolate-covered cherries, and I figured, whatever. I had 2 cherries, chocolate-covered cherries. The sugar won't kill me in that amount, at least. Yes, I've seen the pictures of you, and you know what I mean, says Kenny. Yes, indeed, Picola I was choosing between the map story or the spam story or the cheese story, but instead I think we are going to go with the map story. And so, as you guys might know, I live in the Puget Sound, and as I've mentioned many times, the Puget Sound is part of a larger body of water called the Salish Sea. And here is a picture of the Salish Sea. It includes the Straits of Georgia, the Strait of Juan de Fuca, the Puget Sound, and the Hood Canal. The Hood Canal remains unlabeled on this particular map, but that's okay. So, the Salish Sea goes into Canada, through down as south as far as like Olympia and Shelton. The Puget Sound is only in the United States. And so this is the Puget Sound. And as you can see, you know, we've got Seattle on the east side of the Puget Sound. We've got Tacoma further south. And then at the very, very, very furthest tip of the Puget Sound, we've got Olympia at the bottom end of that water and Camilchi. Now, On the other side of the Puget Sound is a very thin, narrow body of water, and that is the Hood Canal. And if you look in the middle of this map where you see a green dot, that green dot is located on the Kitsap Peninsula. So if you'll see, if you go follow that green dot and then follow the gray line, which is a road, down to Belfair, and then that's where the Kitsap Peninsula is attached to the greater land mass. Otherwise, it would be an island, basically. But if you, the water, piece of water underneath the B in Belfair, that's the Hood, where the Hood Canal starts. So the Hood Canal starts at Belfair and it goes down southwest to Union, Hoodsport, Hamahama, up to Brennan, Seebeck, up through there. That's the Hood Canal, that narrow body of water. That is not part of the Puget Sound. That's the Hood Canal. But all the other water that you're seeing here, that's the Puget Sound. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because C. Honda I've mentioned the Puget Sound enough. C. Honda was like, could you really explain the Puget Sound? Can we talk about the Puget Sound? I'm a little unclear about what the Puget Sound really is. And so this is the Puget Sound. And now, Pacola T coming in with the most appropriate comment, which is Oysterland! Yes, exactly. The Hood Canal, that little narrow strip of water, the Hood Canal, Belfair, Union, Hoodsport, Hamahama, Seebeck, Brennan, that is where you find some of the finest oysters in the world. That is Oysterville. Lots of oyster farming, clean water, delicious oysters, super clean water, because there's not a lot of industry on that body of water. Now, the one industry that is on that body of water is terrifying. That body of water probably holds the largest amount of nuclear weapons the world has to see in one place. That's right. A lot of nuclear power, a lot of nuclear stuff right there by Bangor Base. Huge amount of nuclear everything. Warheads, submarines, ships, more warheads, missiles for the warheads. Did I mention the warheads? Lots of nuclear stuff coming out of there. But further south, no real industry there, and it's all beautiful water. But that's not the point. What the point here today is this. Yeah, because they can see Russia from their house. Exactly. But today, today we're going to talk about the Puget Sound. Is there any gig economy on Gig Island? Oh, Gig Island. I don't think it's Gig Island. It's Gig Harbor. It's not Gig Island. It's Gig Harbor. And yes, indeedly. Pacola T. I went clamming near Bangor once. Unusually large clams. Cough. And let's see here. Why is the Seattle soccer team called the Sounders instead of the Pugets? I don't know, dude. I don't know. But our regional transportation system is also called the Sounder. So it's called Sound Transit. We refer to the Sound as the Sound. We don't refer to it as Puget. Like, Puget was just, some dude who, quote unquote, discovered the water. I'm sure the tribes there would agree that French dude, Puget, he totally found this. Because we weren't here for 18,000 years or anything, but whatever. So, excuse me, but anyway, so we're about to watch a video. This is a true story. Pacola T, better than Puget's first name, otherwise the team would have been called the Peters. That's hysterical. I had no idea that. Are you joking? It's not Peter Puget. Are you serious? Was that his? You're lying. You can't. That can't be true. Actually, it probably is true. And they were called the If they were called the Pugets, people would make fart jokes. I know I would. Honestly, you You know how, like, when you're way too close to something, you just don't see some things? I never thought of that joke, and that totally makes sense. A Puget, of course, duh. But, all right, so, still, chatter is scattering, isn't it, here? All right, so this is a different map of the Puget Sound, slightly different, basically the same, but slightly different. And as you might be able to see, on this map, I have a couple things highlighted. First off, you might notice that I have a little blue circle around this thing, and it looks like I've got it around Vashon Island. Actually, that's not true. It's around a place called Maury Island, and Maury Island is right off of Vashon Island. And actually, I think Peter Puget was a mariner, explorer, and the sound was named for him. Absolutely, absolutely. And oh, he was English, not French. I just figured with a name like Puget, it was, you know, I mean, he would have pronounced it Puget, of course, but I just figured it was French. And can I go back and forth to Canada? No big deal. Yes. You can go, but I actually don't have the right kind of ID to, like, I can't because I don't have an ID that allows for cross-border travel, and I don't have a passport. But if I had my proper ID that allows for cross-border travel or if I had a passport, yeah, going to Canada would be no big deal. It's like a 2-hour drive. No big deal at all. And shock, even if he was French, the English would claim him for the sake of the territory. Perhaps. But all right, you guys, look at the map. So on this particular map, I've got this island it's called Maury Island, and it is the island that is circled. There's a little yellow highlighted strip right next to the circled island, and that is what is Des Moines, Washington, with the S. That's how we say it here. That's how we say that town here. And then at the very bottom, you see AFB, and that is McChord Lewis. That's the McChord Air Force Base. That's where McChord Air Force Base is located. So, Des Moines is yellow. Maury Island is blue circle. Air Force Base is there. And now, I want to tell you a little bit about spooky stuff that happened right there it started in Des Moines, it ended in Maury Island, and just check this out, y'all. Because this really did happen. It actually really happened.
Do you like unsolved mysteries? Maybe a government cover-up with an FBI agent relentlessly seeking the truth. And maybe it's a Cold War story, and it goes all the way to the top. Maybe all the way to J. Edgar Hoover himself. And what if all of that not only actually happened, but happened in connection with an infamous UFO sighting over Puget Sound? This is Des Moines, Washington, in Seattle's South Side, a small town with some very big stories. When I heard this story, I just had to know more, and I think you'll feel the same way. Come on. The Maury Island Incident Mural isn't just a most excellent spot for a selfie, it's a Des Moines launchpad for the true story that envelops what some say is the most incredible UFO tale in history. It's June 21, 1947, when Tacoma resident Harold Dahl and his son Charles and the family dog Sparky picked up 2 crewmen on the docks in Tacoma, and they headed out towards Maury Island on Harold's boat, the North Queen. Harold sees 6 huge flying discs in the sky, 100 feet across, hollow, shaped like donuts. One of them seems to be failing. It's lower than the others. There's an explosion and all kinds of debris. It's molten like lava. It's referred to by some as slag. The dog Sparky is hit and killed. The North Queen is damaged. Some slag burns Charles on his arm. They're so frightened that they run the boat aground on the nearest land, the beach on Maury Island, and they hide from the raining fire beneath some cliffs until the saucers go away. But none of that is the weird part. Because on the very next day, a man in black confronts Harold. The man in black told Harold that he knew what Harold had seen the day before in the water, and the man in black warned Harold not to tell anyone, or bad things might happen. Harold's account is our first modern reference to the Men in Black. Think about that. The X-Files, Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. Yep, the Maury Island incident is where that all started, right here. But none of that is the weird part. J. Edgar Hoover is competing with the Army over jurisdiction to investigate the saucer sightings. They wanted to know what people were seeing because they wanted to know if maybe the Soviets were overflying our country. The Army assigns 2 intelligence officers, former World War II pilots, to investigate Maury Island, Captain William Davidson and Lieutenant Frank Brown. On July 31st, 1947, the 2 intelligence officers actually fly to McCord Field in Tacoma in an Army surplus B-25 bomber that they pilot. But by this time, over a month later, just like the man in black had warned, bad things had happened to Harold. The 2 intelligence officers, they take samples of the slag, manifest it as top secret cargo, and store it inside the bomber's navigator's kit. Tragically, Captain Davidson and Lieutenant Brown perish when the B-25 spontaneously and inexplicably catches fire less than 1 hour into the flight. Now here is where it gets twisted. Harold is so upset about all the bad things that have happened, he decides he's going to make up a new story. He's going to tell the whole world that he made the whole thing up. That he's the biggest liar that ever lived. Because he'd rather be known as a liar than face more ridicule. That's the story. Don't know what to believe? Come to Des Moines and see for yourself.
For more must-see Seattle Southside scenes, go to SeattleSouthsideScenes.com.
So, yeah, so who the Flying Fork really knows what happened. But apparently, government agents, well, government agents, definitely seem to take an interest in whatever that lie may or may not have been. And obviously, Men in Black and X-Files, the television shows and movies, are a work of fiction without a doubt. But the secret government agencies, especially back in 1947, yeah, dude, of course they were wearing black. They were very low key. The CIA, the CIA spooks and all those behind the scenes people, they do exist, and some of them we know about, some of them we don't. And apparently one of them did visit that guy and said, Now, whether or not all those bad things that happened to him were a coincidence, I mean, first off, frankly, his dog dying was the first bad thing that happened to him. It just sounded like it was maybe a string of bad luck that happened to him. It's hard to say, that the government caused all those things to happen. I really don't think happened, but it's a very strange story. But apparently in 1947, and this much I do know, in the 40s, there were a lot of US UFO sightings in the Mount Rainier, Puget Sound area. That much I do know. We were a hot spot even before Roswell existed. Let me rephrase that. Roswell existed even before the alien crash site supposedly happened at Area 51 or in the Roswell area. Before that, the UFO central hotspot area was the Puget Sound, Mount Rainier area, etc., etc. So who knows? Who knows what the truth was? But I did think that it was kind of, an interesting little story. I had never heard of it until recently, and I was like, actually, I was on YouTube and I saw the little headline, the Maury Island incident, and my stupid ass was like, oh, you mean the protest that took place 15 years ago when they were building the third runway at SeaTac? Because they used a bunch of gravel from Maury Island to build the third runway at SeaTac, and apparently doing so disturbed some habitat of whatever, and people didn't want the third runway anyway, and they were pissed off that they were mining on Maury Island, so there was huge environmental protests. So I just assumed that, that was the Maury Island incident. And so I was like, oh, what do they have to say about the environmental impact of the mining? Click, click. And then I'm just like, aliens? What is going on here? So yeah, I thought I would share that. And let's see here. Yeah, and then Roswell is where they test secret aircrafts in Area 51. So many weird things fly around there. Right, and wasn't it Washingtonian Kenneth Arnold who first used the term flying saucer? Kenny, you know more about that than I do, but I wouldn't be surprised if this area was the hotspot before Roswell got the focus. It kind of makes sense that we might be the first ones to create the jargon surrounding what you're seeing, right? But yeah, I don't know. Darlene, I'm fine with Wisconsin not being a hot spot for UFOs, aliens, etc. But up north and in some secluded wooded areas, UFOs were sighted there too. As long as I don't see them, I'm okay. I'll tell you what, dude. I was in Oregon on the beach, and out overlooking the ocean, I saw some weird stuff that honestly, I was terrified. I mean, I truly thought, like, oh my God, those are alien aircraft and they are close and they're coming, they can see me, kind of thing. I mean, it was, and you know, I know that my mind was just running away with me and whatever, but seriously, I was terrified. I was frightened. I was frozen in place. And I can honestly say that when given the big enough fear response, at least in that moment, my response was not flight. My response was not flight. My response was freeze. I was frozen in place. I couldn't do anything. It was terrifying. I would not go out to meet any. I can honestly say, if aliens do exist, and if I encounter one, I will not go out to meet it. It will have to come find me, and I will be crying and whimpering and terrified as it approaches. E-Music, you were with a group of people on Kauai at night. A UFO flew over us. Very spooky. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, it is when you realize just how tiny you are in that my brain just went nuts. And Kenny, I believe his sighting happened around Mount Rainier in the late 40s, early 50s. Yeah, exactly. Yes, what you're saying absolutely is consistent with what I know of the area. I just don't know. I didn't know A, the dude's name who came up with the term, or B, that he was from Washington. But I'm not at all surprised, because it is in the late 40s, early 50s is when Mount Rainier was the thing. And so, let's see here. They zapped me with an immobility ray. I would love to think that, but no, I really do think it was me just being pure chicken. And Pocoti, or was it really good weed? You know, it's funny you should say that. Only twice in my life have I ever been on weed where I considered, like, am I hallucinating? And both times I was not. But both times I was seeing weird stuff. One of the times I was at the ocean and the waves were just breaking, and they were just breaking this into neon green froth. And finally I looked at my friend and I was like, am I hallucinating, or is the water green, turning green? And he confirmed that it was turning green. And as it turns out, it was bioluminescence, and a bunch of people were talking about it that night. So that was legit. And the only other time I've ever considered, like, am I hallucinating? Was I was in my front yard bringing out the trash, and I admit I was under the influence of multiple beers and multiple weeds. And I looked up in the sky and I saw this weird thing hovering over by the airport, and I was like, whoa, dude, that's not an airplane, because it wasn't. And this was before drones were really popular. And so I went online and I was like, I might be hallucinating, but what the hell? And then somebody pointed out, that sounds like it's a drone. And then I saw a picture of a drone and I was like, it's totally a drone. I didn't hallucinate. Nothing. It's just a drone. So I don't think it was really good weed. I think it was just me being a chicken of UFOs. That's for sure. Yeah. And isn't there a long history of sky stuff up in that way, like even native? Verity, you know what? I don't know enough about the native folklore to be able to answer that. But what I can say is, Andre does bring up a good point when it comes to Bigfoot. Apparently he does smell. In fact, one of the alternate names for Bigfoot is a skunk ape. So if you hear people talk about skunk apes, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, all sort of the same thing. And so given the fact that one of the names is skunk ape, I'm going to assume that they have an aroma. That's what I'm going to assume. And let's see here. Aliens, says Terry in Scotland, are the reason I'm in Scotland. I was sleeping peacefully deep in the heart of Texas when suddenly I woke on an examination table under a blinding light. The space monkeys poked, prodded, and even looked up my birth certificate. They finally dropped you off in Scotland. I don't believe you at all, Terry. Not one bit. I know how you got to Scotland. And unless you're calling your wife a prodding space monkey, I don't think that's how you got there. And exactly, Kenny, by the strictest definition of the acronym UFOs, unidentified flying objects. Yeah, I I totally agree. I think that that's such a stupid question. Do you believe in UFOs? It's like, what is there to believe? There are objects that are flying and are unidentified. That's a UFO. If you ask if I believe in aliens, that's a different question entirely. And let's see here. And what? Hold on, wait. What did Trail Dust say? This is a weird thing to listen to while looking at pictures of potatoes. Okay, Picola T, you're not gonna ask him why he's looking at pictures of potatoes, but I'm gonna ask, why are you looking at pictures of potatoes? And let's see here. What is it with aliens and Okolipukas? Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's the easiest way to get our temperature. And what about SFOs, the submersible ones? Dude, see Honda. Oh my God. I remember once, and this was so weird. I don't know. Okay, first off, I don't know. I can honestly say, I don't know who the hell my dad really was as a person. I really don't. But I can say one day he brought home a friend of his from work. And he was this Filipino dude, and he was awesome. But the Filipino dude spent a lot of time on, I don't remember if he was in the Navy, or if he was like a merchant marine, or if he was like on a crab boat, or whatever. But he spent a lot of his life on ships in the middle of the ocean. And he was telling a story at the dinner table where he totally saw a flying saucer, a flying disc that was, unidentifiable, and it was flying through the sky, and then boom, went under the water it went from sky to water, no big deal. And he was, he had a lot more to the story than that. That's all I really remember. But yeah, he fully believed in aliens after seeing that. And I did have to wonder, like, this is not a topic my dad would normally talk about or bring up. What the hell does my dad talk about at work? And who the heck is this guy? Like, my dad is like maybe way more out there than I ever even knew. And I really enjoyed this guy's company, but I was like, this guy, like, I would never have guessed this guy would be friends with my dad, but my dad really liked him. And so I don't know, man. I guess maybe my dad believed in aliens too. I have no idea. Oh, right. From a few weeks back, you're looking for pictures of Dress a Potato class at the fair. Oh, yes. Is my dad an alien? Well, Si Honda, he did marry an alien. Not really, actually. My mom was from Canada, so she was an alien. Get it? But that is right. All right. So, did you just see a mention of UFO Uber? I didn't see that, but that would be funny. Okay, you guys. So, and maybe your dad was trying to be a good influencer rather than show his true colors. A good influencer to who? Me? Because that ship sailed years prior. That ship had already sailed. But anyway, you guys, all right, we are 1 minute past the bottom of the hour, which means we are 1 minute late, which is so normal for us. But we are going to wrap it up, and I want to thank you guys I want to thank everybody who found us yesterday on Statterbox at the Cinema. I know that I said we're going to wrap it up, but I've got one last thing to say, which is Statterbox at the Cinema is going to be moving. Instead of Mad Statter, you just need to go to Map Statter. Twitch. Map Statter. Here, let me write it down. That's M-A-P. Map Statter, right? And that is the channel we're going to show the movies on. That channel is non-monetized. Map Statter, but one word, Darlene. One word. And so it's not monetized. I still have 3 strikes before they cancel that channel. If they cancel that channel, it's no big deal. And so, by all means, on Saturdays, if we're going to do a movie, when we do the movies, it'll be Map Statter on Twitch. Tomorrow, on Wednesday, we'll talk about what movie we're going to watch next Saturday. Yesterday, we watched Reservation Dogs. We can either watch Reservation Dogs again, other episodes, or we can actually watch a movie. We will figure that out on Wednesday. All right, so Map Statter. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you, mods, for modding. Thank you, Twittery. No, not Twittery. We're not on Twitter. Thank you so much for chatting, for bidding, for donating bits. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Thank you so much for the donations, the subs, the resubs, the gift subs, etc., etc. And mostly, thank you so much for coming in and chatting. And we had a great time, I hope. I had a good time. I hope you guys did too. And if you want to go order some blackcurrant stuff, you can order blackcurrant stuff on Amazon. But just remember, if you got chicken from Amazon Fresh, check the product code. It might be recalled. All right. Check it out. See you later. Have a good one.